is a gorgeous afternoon here in Chicago. The temperatures have cooled off a bit. We've got a north breeze, but a nice day for Cubs baseball. It's the Hyundai leadoff man. On WGN Sports, the Cubs look to avoid the sweep against the Pittsburgh Pirates. Hi again, everyone. I'm Len Casper. Welcome to the leadoff man. This holiday weekend series will wrap up. The Reds come in on Labor Day tomorrow. We'll also have that game right here on WGN. Boy, a bizarre game yesterday. We had an hour-and-a-half rain delay in the middle. Looked like the Cubs were in good shape. But, you know, these two teams have been battling since 1887. We thought we'd have a little fun with the TV part of it today. And the crew was a little sick of hearing my voice for 5 straight hours yesterday. So if you'd heard or seen the highlights back in 1887, Pirates and Cubs, this is what it might have looked like. So the Pirates winning 7-5 the final, and Derek Lee back at Wrigley Field as a Pirate. He has 3 homers and 8 RBIs, all coming against the Cubs. Alfonso Soriano hasn't had a bunch of hits against the Pirates, but he's driven in 14 runs and has 4 home runs. He's not in the lineup today. Brian LaHare gets his first Cubs start in left. As we go to break, our Chicago and Northwest Hyundai Dealers Spotlight reminds us to check out the award-winning Hyundai Sonata and the all-new Hyundai Elantra at myhyundai.com. by your Chicago and Northwest Indiana Hyundai dealers. Check out the award-winning Hyundai Sonata and the all-new Elantra at myhyundaichicago.com. Well, Carlos Marmol with a blown save yesterday. That's 9 on the season, tied for the most in the major leagues. And there has to be some concern about a guy who was so dominating in 2010. Let's hear from Mike Quade, who wants to give him a chance here over the next 3.5 weeks to straighten things out.
You know, you keep putting people in a position to do what they need to do, and you know, you hope he straightens it out. I think the best thing for me, if there's anything from yesterday, is that he had overcome the last tough time and it really was pitching pretty well. But these things have crept up on him more this year than they have in the past. So he's going to have to continue to try and figure things out and just make better pitches.
Do you have any doubt he would go into next year as the closer?
Oh God, Sully, the last thing I thought about was next year. I mean, I'm just we just want to get people through this year in as good a shape as we can. Finishes strong and everything else. Thoughts about next year should probably come sometime in October and November, I think. Right now, it's just the work that needs to be done right now, and we're looking for the guy that he's been all these years, and he's looking for that guy sometimes too. So
that's Mike Quade. Time now for Bob's AutoZone tip of the day. Today it's watch Randy pitch well. The tip of the day brought to you by AutoZone for the auto parts, accessories, and advice you need. Get in the zone. AutoZone. Chicago and Northwest Indiana Hyundai dealers. Check out the award-winning Hyundai Sonata and the all-new Elantra at myhyundaichicago.com. Well, great story at AAA Iowa. Brian LaHare, not only the PCL MVP, the Iowa team MVP, led the minor leagues with 38 home runs. I'd have to say he's a good candidate for the Cubs Minor League Player of the Year as well. He'll make his Cubs debut batting fifth and playing left. It's the Cubs hosting the Pirates, coming up on WGN. from the friendly confines of Wrigley Field on a gorgeous Sunday afternoon. It's Labor Day weekend, and we bring you Cubs baseball on WGN Sports. The Pirates and Cubs in Game 3 of this series. We welcome Cub fans from all over the country watching on WGN America, America's home for baseball. Hi again, everyone. Hope your holiday weekend is going well. Bob Brenly and Len Casper with you. The Cubs are struggling. They've dropped 10 of 13, including the first 2 in this series. Let's talk starting pitchers, Bob. Randy Wells coming off the start of his life. Hopefully he can continue that today.
Well, you certainly hope so, Len. And I think the reason for Randy's resurgence here late in the season is that improved straight changeup. It's really been a good weapon for him to go along with his sinker and his slider.
Charlie Morton, another sinker baller. Great start to the season. Struggled mid-year. Put together a pretty good August, but you see his last 2 starts has struggled again.
Actually, the month of August was real good for him for the first 4 starts. He pitched a total of 28 innings, gave up only 3 earned runs, but his last 2 have been pretty rough.
And the wind blowing in as we get started, and 2 guys who get a lot of ground balls, so could be a low-scoring day. Let's go down to the field for God Bless America and our national anthem.
As he honors America with God Bless America, followed by our national anthem.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans, white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
of 100% natural lime flavor. Pepsi Max, the official soft drink of Major League Baseball and your Chicago Cubs. 0 calories, maximum Pepsi taste. Ford, the newest vehicles on the road are now at your local Ford store. Like the all-new Ford Explorer, SUV, 100% reinvented. Visit localfordstores.com. Ford, drive one. And by the Illinois Lottery. How does $1,000 a week every week for the rest of your life sound? Then play Cash for Life instant games from the Illinois Lottery. The longer you live, the more you get. Chicago Cubs baseball in high definition is brought to you by Xfinity, only from Comcast.
Today's game is available in Spanish on your SAP audio setting, provided by WRTO La Tremenda, Chicago Spanish language sports leader, with Elio Benitez and Hector Fabregas on the call.
Now let's get the Pirates starting lineup. What a series for Alex Presley. His last 3 games going back to Thursday against the Dodgers. 8 hits. Josh Harrison, Andrew McCutchen, Derek Lee, the hero in the 9th yesterday. Neil Walker at 2nd. Garrett Jones in right, Ronnie Cedeno at short, Michael McHenry the catcher, and Charlie Morton will do the pitching.
And let's check out how the Cubs take the field defensively today behind Randy Wells, brought to you by Pepsi Max, the official soft drink of Major League Baseball and your Chicago Cubs. 0 calories, maximum Pepsi taste. Some changes today for Mike Quaddy. Brian LaHare getting his first start in left field. Marlon Byrd in center. Tony Campana over in right field today. It'll be Ramirez, Castro, Barney, and Pena once again across the infield. Coy Hill doing the catching today for right-hander Randy Wells. As we mentioned in the open of the show, Randy coming off by far his best outing of the year. Totally dominated that Giants lineup. Gave up only 2 base hits in 9 innings, struck out 7, only walked 1 batter.
So Presley will dig in, with Ramirez in at third. Just a few clouds above, but a lot of sunshine. And we're underway. Ball 1 according to Corey Blazer. Jim Wolf at first, DJ Rayburn at second, Ron Culpa is at third. Crosswind out of the northwest at 11, 70 degrees. I'm a fan of 70 degrees in a northwest wind. Very comfortable.
You may need a light jacket if you happen to be sitting in the shade today. But boy, if you're in the sunshine, absolutely perfect conditions here at Wrigley today.
I would say pre-fall like conditions.
Yes.
And Presley with a base hit. 7 hits in the series.
The young man just continues to get the barrel of the bat on the baseball and find holes in this series. This time right back up the middle of the field. He has sprayed them from foul line to foul line with authority in this series.
He's a threat to run. It's Josh Harrison. Randy Wells gave up 2 hits in his last start. That ball came back up and hit Harrison, but he was in the batter's box, and that made it a foul ball. If he were in fair territory, he would have been called out.
Now, 3 separate occasions in this series, Clint Hurdle has used Harrison to put down a sacrifice bunt with a runner at first. This looked like Harrison just trying to bunt for a base hit on his own. Comes right up and gets him while he's still in the batter's box. Just a foul ball.
Pirates have really improved on the road. After a brutal year last year away from PNC, they've won 16 more games on the road. Last year went 17-64. This year they're 33-37.
Yeah, their road record's actually better than their home record at PNC Park, where they're 7 games under 500, only 4 under on the road.
Popped into shallow center, and it's going to be caught by the striding Marlon Byrd. So 1 out in the books. Make sure you keep in touch. You can email us at lennonbob@tribune.com. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter as well.
Catchy little tune.
It is. Well, Andrew McCutchen with 1 out and the check on Presley. And back safely. Final game of the season series. Pirates have won 8 of the first 15. They're 6-2 at Wrigley. They've won all 3 series here.
And this is a guy that Randy Wells is going to have to keep in check to have any success today. Andrew McCutchen has beaten up on Randy Wells in his career. 8 for 16 lifetime.
Well, the other guy's Neil Walker, who's 5 for 8. Sinker for a strike.
So far so good with that sinker for Randy Wells. Very similar to Casey Coleman in that when he keeps that sinker down around the knees with that late movement, he can get a lot of ground balls, a lot of called strikes down there at the bottom of the kneecaps. However, when that pitch strays up mid-thigh and above, it becomes very hittable.
Look at the action from atop the scoreboard in center.
You mentioned Presley's speed at first base, 6 stolen bases in 9 attempts in limited playing time up here at the major league level, but there's no question we've seen this guy run the bases in this series. Doesn't have the explosive first step or two for a guy like Tony Campana. However, he gets up to top speed in a hurry.
Inside. And it's 3-1. Derek Lee on deck. Goes Presley, swing and a miss. Throw to second is going to be late. So a 3-2 count on the hitter. Presley now in scoring position.
A big part of becoming a good base stealer at the major league level is picking good pitches to run on. That time Presley picked an off-speed breaking ball. Takes a little bit longer to get to the catcher. Coy has to stay back just a little bit longer so he doesn't get involved with that hitter's swing, and that's all Presley needed to steal that base.
Fly ball straightaway center. Bird back on it, and he's going to get it on the warning track. Presley tagging, and he'll stand at third. Key there, Marlon Byrd never took his eyes off the ball and knew he had some room.
Now batting first baseman number 25, Derek Lee.
Cub fans still appreciative of Derek's time here, but not very appreciative of what he did yesterday.
Maybe not quite as many after that grand slam yesterday.
Bit of revenge, I guess, exacted on his former teammate Carlos Marmol, who put him on the DL a month ago.
Yeah, Derek Lee very familiar with Carlos Marmol. He knew that he was going to get a slider, and unfortunately that one just kind of spun up there low in the strike zone, and Derek golfed it into the basket for that game-changing grand slam. Once again, good location down at the bottom of the strike zone. May have gotten the benefit of the doubt on a borderline call right there, but take advantage of it.
Inside. Bob, according to just a quick look at the Cubs lineups this year, this is the first time Coy Hill has caught Randy Wells since May 28th, and that was against the Pirates here at Wrigley Field. So it's been a while. So pretty familiar with one another. And that one is lined out into right center, and Derek Lee does it again. It gives him 9 Pirate RBIs, all versus the Cubs, and Randy Wells gives up another first inning run.
That continues to be a problem not only for Randy Wells but the entire Cubs starting rotation, giving up those early runs. Nice piece of hitting by Derek Lee to stay on that pitch on the outer third of the plate and line it into right field to put the Pirates on the board.
Mark Riggins, a pitching coach. Walker without a hit in the series, but he's walked 3 times and has scored twice. Swing and a miss, 1-1.
He's lived up to his name in this series.
Neal? Oh,
no.
Two and one.
If you had to guess, Len, looking at this Pirates roster, if there was one guy that was probably going to spend his entire career in a Pittsburgh Pirates uniform, I would bet on Neil Walker. Hometown boy, high school all-star, football star, lives in the area, gets to play for the team he grew up rooting for. I got a feeling he'll be willing to take some hometown discounts to stay in Pittsburgh for a long time. And I have a feeling the Pirates are going to be glad to have him. Pretty good looking young player that doesn't get near the recognition that he probably deserves.
This has been a very favorable matchup for Walker. 3-2. Derek Lee will get a head start with 2 outs.
With a 3-2 count, 2 outs. Carlos Pena will swing around behind Derek Lee at first base to give himself a little extra range just in case Neil Walker pulls one down that direction.
A soft liner to Ramirez for the final out. 2 hits and a run, and the Cubs are coming up from Wrigley.
In your Chicago Cubs, 0 calories, maximum Pepsi taste. It'll be Castro, Campana, and Ramirez at the top of the order. A couple of lefties in the 4 and 5 spot. Carlos Pena and Brian LaHare. Marlon Byrd, Darwin Barney, Coy Hill, and Randy Wells.
And Charlie Morton ready to work. Strike.
3 left-handed hitters, and Coy Hill, a switch hitter in the lineup against Morton today. Lefties are hitting 150 points higher against Charlie Morton than righties this year.
Blake DeWitt would have been in the lineup. Bothered by a little hamstring injury. He is available to pinch hit. Starlin Castro leads off with a base hit. Continues on his trek toward 200 hits. It's number 177.
It'd be a good idea for the Cubs offense to look down in the zone today. Charlie Morton featuring that heavy sinking fastball. He'll also mix in an occasional curve. He's tried to mix in a cut fastball also, and a very rare occasional straight changeup.
You've got options here with Tony Campana at the plate. The guess here is that he'll try to bunt for a hit and at the very least get Castro to second.
I think that's a good guess.
There it is, and he'll get there. Nobody covering first. I don't know of another guy I've ever seen who, when he gets a bunt in play, makes it look easier to reach first.
I can't think of anybody that has the combination of bunting ability, first of all, and then the ability to just outrun the defense to the base at first. I mean, once Derek Lee gets committed into no man's land, there's no second baseman in the game that's going to win that foot race with Tony Campana.
Ramos Ramirez got on 4 times yesterday and scored 3 times. Kenry trying to locate it, and Campana caught up, and he's going to be out. Castro did get to third, but Campana didn't pay enough attention to the lead man. And he gets picked off.
Boy, as the trail runner, you have to constantly have one eye on the runner in front of you. You could see Castro did not immediately pick up that ball was behind the catcher. From his angle at first base, Tony Campana probably did see the ball behind the catcher, assumed that Castro was going to advance. Got out there in no man's land.
And Ramirez pops it up. Castro ready to tag, but it's not deep. Walker the catch. Castro about halfway up the line. He's going to have to hold.
Once again, on that Campana play, a lot of times it's your perspective. What can you see from where you're positioned on the field? And then right there you saw Castro bluff toward third base a couple steps. Campana saw that, assumed he was going to continue to go, and that's when the bad things start to happen. But a lot of times as a base runner at second base, you don't see how far the ball gets behind the catcher, but the runner at first base can see. That's how sometimes the confusion is created just because of your perspective.
Doesn't that trail guy, though, have to be a little extra cautious?
Absolutely. You've got to always have one eye on the guy in front of you and wait to see what he does before you commit.
I guess the thing about Tony is you never really worry about him getting thrown out. Even if he waited an extra half a second and saw that Castro was going, Campana would have easily gotten to second. But at any rate, it's up to Carlos Pena here with 2 outs.
And chances are McHenry wouldn't even have risked a throw to second base had both runners been advancing. The much shorter throw is to try to go to third base and get Castro. So, yeah, maybe a little more caution that particular play.
But the other side of it is aggressiveness is what you ask Tony Campana to display. It's his strength. Morton with a 2-0. Now 3-0 with Brian LaHare waiting in the wings. His first major league plate appearance since 2008.
Can you hear that?
150 with Seattle. The heartbeat.
The closer he gets to that batter's box, the higher his heartbeat is.
3-1 to Pena.
And if it isn't, there's probably something wrong. Anybody that's getting ready to take their first major league at bat, certainly a little anxiety. But Brian's been waiting for this for a long time.
Morton back in at 3-2. A lot of breaking stuff here to the lefties.
Going to rely heavily on that sinking fastball. He'll work it on both sides of the plate. We've seen him use it to lefties where he starts it pretty much right at their front thigh, tries to tail it back over the inside corner. If he needs a ground ball, he's more likely to go to the outside corner to the lefties, try to get that top spin grounder.
Here comes LaHare. His first at bat as a Cub. He hit 3 homers with Seattle in 45 games in 08. Only major league experience to this point, and what a year at Iowa, as we mentioned. 38 home runs.
Number 6, Brian LaHare.
Gaudy numbers with AAA Iowa this season.
39th round pick of the Mariners in 2002. (28 years old), born in Worcester, Mass. Did a little bit of the outfield, mostly first base in his career. One and two.
With another breaking ball from Morton.
He got him. Cubs got the first 2 on, but could not get a run. It's 1-0 Pirates after 1.
On WGN America. Know that during every Cubs home game this season, if you go to channel 780 or high definition channel 1780, you can see a special multi-view presentation that shows you all of our different live camera angles here at Wrigley Field. It's pretty cool. So if you want to direct the game along with Skip Ellison, give a look to AT UVerse channel 780 or high def channel 1780.
Garrett Jones, game-winning RBI double Friday, pinch hit game-tying sac fly on Saturday for the Chicago area native, born in Harvey, Illinois, town of our good friend Tom Dreesen, and Lou Boudreau as well. Bird still going back, and he reaches, can't get it. Jones will stop at second with a double. I don't know if it fooled Marlin, but it just kept on going.
As you said earlier, Len, the wind appears to be blowing from the left field corner toward the right field corner. Didn't seem to have much effect on that ball. I think Marlin got fooled because it looked like Garrett Jones hit that ball out near the end of the bat. And usually the ball will not carry as well if you hit it out near the end, but that went over Marlon Byrd off the vines in straightaway center for a leadoff double.
The other thing to consider, the sun is an issue for Byrd on plays where he has to go slightly to his left into right center. And it looked like as he reached out, that ball just kind of missed the glove. Slider missed. Cedeno held 2-0. That's what he has to look at.
And you can tell by looking at the shadows of the players as they take their positions on the field who's going to have the biggest problem as the day goes on. And right now Marlon Byrd, the two middle infielders, figure to be most affected by balls hit up in the sun. As the day wears on, it'll move around to the right side of the field.
When you come to the ballpark for a 120 start, just watch the defenders between pitches. Guys in the outfield, they're constantly checking the sun
and the flags.
Yep.
And then communicating with each other ideally. We've seen it many times this year. Marlon Byrd will whistle and get the attention of the corner outfielders and make a variety of hand signs letting them know a ball hit this direction, I'm going to need a little more help because of the sun. Or he'll point at the flags, just alerting the corner outfielders which way the ball's likely to be moved if it's hit between them. Anything you can do ahead of time could possibly eliminate some confusion during the play.
Base hit center field. Jones will hold. Nick Leyba putting on the stop sign. First and third with nobody out.
Kind of a defensive swing by Ronnie Cedeno, but he went down and golfed that slider into center field. Out to Marlon Byrd on a couple of hops. Garrett Jones, not the swiftest runner on this Pirates roster, had to be held at third base by Nick Leyba, but the Bucks have him on the corners here with nobody out.
Michael McHenry, who because of injury elsewhere on the roster to other catchers, got an opportunity, and this is his team leading 49th start behind the plate. He'll take a hack.
Yes, he will, and he's going to try to pull the ball to the left side. Should Ronnie Cedeno try to run from first base, you would assume that Darwin Barney is going to have all the coverage at second. And when you have a batter at the plate that's more likely to hit the ball to the left side of the infield, obviously you want to keep your shortstop and third baseman in their positions. And I would guess that Darwin Barney has responsibility for all coverage on any run attempt by Ronnie Cedeno.
else could strike him out. He's got a shot here because the pitcher's on deck. Morton, by the way, a right-handed hitter. He's taking some practice cuts left-handed. First error of the day on a fan in the front row in the upper deck.
Tough chance, but
it is. Well, you don't want to lean too much.
Probably should have made the play anyway, but. Right now the Cubs are hoping that McHenry pulls the ball on the ground to the left side, with Pena holding on Cedeno at first and Darwin Barney cheating up the middle of the field just a little bit. Huge hole on that right side of the infield. You know, with some hitters at the plate, you'd be concerned that they would just try to take an outside pitch and dribble it through that right side for a base hit, but it's just not Michael McHenry's game, at least not at this stage of his career. As he gets more at bats and more experience and more guidance from guys like Derek Lee, just see where the holes are in those RBI situations. What do you need to do to get that guy on the plate?
The last two pitches inside, now 3-2. We'll see if Clint Hurdle will have Ronnie Cedeno on the move. With nobody out. He is not, and the bases are loaded. That's a guy you just can't let off the hook after you get the 8-hitter down 0-2.
It really wasn't close, at least not close enough to get McHenry to offer at any of the pitches before taking the base on balls. I mean, Michael McHenry, from what we've seen from him in limited experience this year, he wants to swing that bat. He's not a guy that's likely to take a lot of base on balls.
Well, Morton was 2 for 43 on the year. I wonder if Clint Hurdle is just going to tell him, take him. Don't hit into a double play. He's got Alex Presley on deck. If he strikes out, at least Presley bats with only 1 out. Did you do that on occasion?
Oh, yeah.
Bases loaded, nobody out.
We had a couple pitchers that didn't swing the bat well at all. I wanted to give them the take until they got to 3 strikes.
And then you're okay.
Yeah.
You can hack away.
Come back to the cage and swing all you want.
Little blooper. Foul. Woo.
Thank you, wind. Just a little bit of push got that ball into foul territory right there. That looked like disaster off the bat of Charlie Morton.
It would have been 2 runs for sure, maybe 3.
He buried that sinker down and in. Somehow Morton got the bat on it. Ooh, too close.
Woo. 1-2. Will give up the second run for a shot at a double play up the middle.
Ramirez playing in at third base. Ball hit to him. He more than likely would go home to cut down Garrett Jones, but the rest of the Cubs infield defensively playing at double play depth.
Swing and a miss for the first out. This has been a real sore spot for this Cubs team both ways. The bases loaded. The Cubs without a grand slam. They've given up the most, 7. And look at that. They have 12 extra base hits with the bases loaded, but they've also given up 12.
11 doubles and a triple for the Cubs with the bases loaded this year. Unfortunately, the 3 Cubs hitters that have had the most at bats with the bases loaded: Alfonso Soriano hitting .235, Starlin Castro hitting .182, and Marlon Byrd hitting .083 in those bases loaded situations.
All right, how do you get this guy out? That's been the big question. 7 hits and 10 at bats in the series for Alex Presley. He has scored 4 runs.
Well, bases loaded, 1 out, really not the time to experiment, but I wonder what would happen with Presley if you threw some pitches up there above the belt. It seems like everything in and around the strike zone, he's dropped the bat head on and hit hard in this series. We haven't seen him go after anything up in the zone. I'm not sure he's got the kind of power that you'd be worried about him driving the ball out of the ballpark. Get him to hit the ball in the air, a better chance of getting him out.
Wells needs a quality strike here. Down 2-0 with the bases loaded. It's that pitch we were talking about. Quality strike, pitcher's strike, 2-1.
Just enough movement, starts it on the outside corner, a little tailing action. Probably took it out of the zone a little bit, but a nice frame job by Coy Hill to get the call.
Three and one. Well, it's easy for us to say because we've only seen Presley a handful of times. Well, he looks like he belongs here. This is just his 50th major league game. 19 last year, and this is his 31st this season. 26 years old. And a pop-up, Castro will catch it. A big second out. Wells gets Presley. He was down 3-1 and got him to pop out to short.
Presley jammed himself a little bit on a pitch up in the zone. Just didn't get the bat head through that particular time. A little jam shot floater to Starlin Castro. Big second out.
Ball one to Josh Harrison, his 50th major league game, all coming this year. You see the split between the average and the on base percentage. That's because he's only had 3 walks in 159 plate appearances. He doesn't have enough power to not walk. He's able to improve his patience. That will certainly help his cause at this level.
Patience is such a tough thing to learn at the major league level. These guys come up from the minor leagues. We've talked about Harrison coming through the Cubs organization, and you get to the big leagues and You want to swing that bat. You want to show your team what you can do, that you can contribute and be a part of the team.
High fly ball to left. It's Brian LaHare, and it looks like Marlon Byrd's going to take it. So Randy Wells, after the bases were loaded with nobody out, able to navigate around it. 1-0 Pirates.
Wrigley Field, the first 20,000 fans will receive a Blackhawks pocket schedule for the 2011-2012 season, and lucky seat winners will be awarded great prizes throughout the game. Don't miss the action as the Cubs battle the Reds at 1:20. For more information and to purchase tickets, visit Cubs.com.
Well, Randy Wells dodged a big bullet. Bases loaded, nobody out, and he got out of it. A 1-0 count on Marlon Byrd.
Possibility for one of those big momentum swings. So much of this game is about momentum. Keeping the other team off the board in a bases loaded, nobody out situation. If you can come back offensively and put some runs on the board quickly, that momentum will shift over to that third base dugout.
Tending to the right hand of Starlin Castro.
And that awkward slide into third base when Tony Campana got picked off of first. I'm not sure if that's when the injury occurred.
Just missed. 3-1.
That's that slide we were talking about when the Pirates threw behind Tony Campana at first. Castro going into third base, got his arms caught up underneath. Very awkward looking slide. Hopefully just a strawberry on that right hand.
For the uninitiated, strawberry means a scrape.
Yeah, just an abrasion from sliding on the dirt. A lot of players get them on their knee, whichever knee they slide on, the right or the left. They get them on the knee area sometimes up on the hip area. For the guys that slide head first, you get them a lot of times on your forearms, near your elbow, on your hands, and also on your quads, right above your kneecaps. And for guys who are busy on the bases, get on base a lot, run a lot, have to slide a lot, you sometimes have strawberries that last from spring training until the end of the season. They just never go away.
The Cubs dugout, but the Cubs dressing room as well. Wells adjusting.
Steve Lyons impersonation.
Strike on Darwin Barney. Manager would like to get him a day off here at some point. It's just 3 for his last 32.
That's one of the hardest things you have to do as a manager, Len, is determine when a guy like Darwin Barney, whatever you mentioned, 2 for his last 32, 3 for his last 32, is he hitting in tough luck? Is he still giving you good at bats but just not getting the results? Or is he starting to show some signs that mechanically his swing's coming apart a little bit? Is he showing signs that maybe physically he's getting a little worn out? That's where your experience and your eyes are your biggest asset. You watch your guys go through their pregame routine, see if there's maybe a little lessening of intensity, or are they favoring a leg, or are they favoring an arm? Is there something that's bothering them that's causing the lack of production? Or are they doing what they've done all year and just hitting into some tough luck?
Definitely hit the ball hard yesterday. Bird running, and he gets in as a throw trailed toward the right field side. Michael McHenry, I think, asking for batter's interference, and it's not going to get the call. Ooh, and a backswing maybe.
Barney was called for hitter's interference in a game last week. No contact there. I mean, eventually there is, but Darwin was actually pulling the bat out of the way when McHenry made contact with it. Ooh. That's a pretty good save right there by the Pirates catcher. He had to go way over into that left-handed batter's box. Well, that's a confidence builder for a pitcher. When you throw one that bad and your catcher is still able to get out there and keep the ball in front, that gives you confidence to bounce that breaking ball in the dirt in those 2 strike counts when that's the pitch you want to throw.
Just foul.
Some breaking balls up there as a pitcher, and they're constantly going to the backstop, and you get into a tough situation, you're a little more careful about not throwing that pitch in the dirt, and that's when you're more likely to make mistakes. But when you've got a catcher that can dig them out the way McHenry did on that wild pitch, it gives you a little more confidence to do what you have to do.
The dirt ball, 3-2. Morton came up with the Braves, a 3rd-round pick in 2002. Pirates got him in a trade in 2009. He has reworked his delivery. As Barney walks, that's 2 walks to start the inning. McDonald's Daily Double is back for just $1.89. You don't have to remember it to love it. Prices and participation may vary for a limited time. A la carte only. W. Roy Hobbs here at the game today. The Blackhawks cap on.
He's a day early for the Blackhawks pocket schedule. He probably already has one.
Coy Hill, 2 on, nobody out.
Morton just struggling to find a consistent release point. We've seen him throw some real nasty sinkers down across the bottom of the zone with a lot of movement, and we've also seen him throw a lot of these.
has the highest ground ball to fly ball ratio in the majors. Ray Searage's pitching coach is out. 3.46. And he's given up just 6 home runs in over 150 innings. Hasn't allowed more than 1 home run in any start this season. Delivery very similar to that of Roy Halladay. And over the winter watched video of Halladay. It's a strike.
When a pitcher struggles, especially with his bread and butter pitch the way Morton has with the sinker today, sometimes a pitching coach will suggest to the catcher, hey, why don't you mix in his other pitches, see if you can't get him back into the strike zone with the breaking ball, and then maybe that sinker will come back. Back-to-back breaking balls to Coy Hill.
He struck him out. Yep. Going back to that same pitch. And now it's Randy Wells.
3 in a row to get back in the sequence to Coy Hill and ultimately strike him out with a 78-mile-per-hour breaking pitch.
St. Hubbins from Spinal Tap.
I was going to say Sammy Hagar a little bit too.
It's the bunt by Wells. It's foul.
Wells' task right here is to bunt that ball down the third base line, trying to force Josh Harrison to come in and make the play. Eric Lee already in several steps ahead of the bag at first. You definitely want to keep it away from him.
And Morton will barehand and making sure out at first.
Nice job by Randy Wells that time. Deading that ball down the third base line. Good aggressive play by Charlie Morton. He had an idea about going to third base, but then decides just to make sure to get an out on the play. It'll be up to Starlin Castro. Try to pick up those 2 base runners here with 2 outs.
Sack bunt of the year for Randy Wells. Just need a 2-out hit. Those 2 guys have reached in each of the first 2 innings. We want to send a special happy 70th birthday wish to our good friend Hawk Harrelson.
'70.
'70.
You got to be bleeping me. Yeah, you can put her on the board, Hawk. Hope you're having a great day.
I believe he's off today. National TV tonight in Detroit. We've been saying stretch. Stretch.
Trick.
And he got there.
Yes, he did.
Three 3-0 to Castro. It's like a workaround situation here with first base open. Swinging away 3-0. And he's going to fly out to Garrett Jones. Cubs strand 2. They trail 1-0.
Millions, and now Powerball from the Illinois Lottery. Tuesday's Mega Millions jackpot is $37 million, while Wednesday's Powerball jackpot stands at $107 million.
Oh, yeah. Back in time. Before we get tweets and emails about, I said this is what the highlights might have looked like in 1887. Obviously, TV hadn't been invented. Right. I don't think that song was even around yet. But
and the first shot, there was a guy talking on his cell phone.
Well, you got the idea. Yeah. If all that stuff had been around,
that's exactly what it would have looked like.
We had the technology to produce it. That's what it would have looked like. One and 2 on Andrew McCutchen. Fly ball sending Campana going to 368 marker. We're just mixing it up on our leadoff man highlights.
Yeah, the guy in the background there talking on the cell phone.
I didn't notice that.
Probably not.
I said, holy cow.
Yeah.
They did have cold beverages, I believe, back in 1887.
Thank goodness.
The 0-1. Who was the president in 1887? I know our director Skip Ellison will know that. I don't even have to look it up. You remember? Grover Cleveland, we think. A baseball tie-in with the name.
I missed that day of class.
And Grover Cleveland started up the idea of Labor Day. See, we tie it all together.
Mm-hmm. Was Grover Cleveland the president that got stuck in the bathtub? I remember when we were in Washington a couple of years ago. I'm at William Howard Taft. Sorry.
Ground ball, base hit.
We're told that Grover Cleveland was the first president to be married while in the White House. So, surprised he didn't make it a federal mandate that everybody say, yes, dear, you're right, I'm sorry. Because you know he did.
Yeah.
He'll probably flicked his cigar ashes in the rose garden. Did you do that, Grover? Yes, dear. You're right. Sorry.
Strike on Neil Walker. Well, I got an interesting note here. Brinley Moore is here today with her brother Brady from Lovington. Brinley, B-R-Y-N-L-E-E, was named after you because mom and dad watch the Cubs.
How about that? I've had my last name misspelled a lot of different ways, but I think that's a first.
B-R-Y-N-L-E-E.
How about that? Oh, Brinley Moore. Good luck.
Better than Bob.
I've had a few dogs and cats named after me, and I know there was one little girl in the Bay Area, but
1-6-3, a double play. Gave you everything you need to know about Grover Cleveland. 1-0 Pirates. Are in the bottom of the third. Tony Campana leads it off. This team has had at least one base runner every half inning. Tell you what, Campana could lay down that same bunt what he did in the first inning, and he beat it out again. So as you say, if he gets Derek Lee to commit, that's it. Instead, he swings away and deposits it out into left center. Don't forget to check out our WGN Baseball blog on WGNTV.com. I have a post on the Cubs' struggling closer Carlos Marmol. We have John Lovitz singing the stretch. Do your job. Game notes from stats and much more at WGNTV.com. He didn't like dead air, did he?
No, he did not.
He liked you, though.
He didn't invent any new terminology for the game yesterday.
Not really.
We didn't have any unusual plays that he could hang a label on, like the fly foul, which he combined to make it a foul ball.
Campana's 17 out of 18 this year, and they get 18 out of 19. But the best stolen base percentage in the majors.
I mean, not only is he fast going from first to second, but he gets such a big lead because he's quick going back to the bag at first. That time just had a monster lead, and McHenry, in his haste to try to get rid of that ball quickly, just never got the handle.
Last time the Cubs saw Charlie Morton, he was at his best. Got a no decision at PNC Park. 7 scoreless innings, but looks like he's there to be had today.
Yeah,
his command's off.
This bread and butter pitch just hasn't been there for him up to this point of the game. He has thrown some really good sinkers, but just has not consistently found the strike zone with it.
All 4. First 2 are on again.
Hey, Cubs fans, if you want to manage a game along with Mike Quaddy, log on to WGNTV.com right now and click on the WGN Sports Game Zone banner to connect to all the up-to-the-minute stats and information while you're watching at home. Game Zone is sponsored by The Great Escape, pools, patio sets, play sets, hot tubs, and more.
Third time the Cubs have had runners at first and second with nobody out.
I'll tell you, Lynn, guys who are a threat to steal third base take a different lead off second than guys who are just going to wait to be driven in. Yeah, Tony Campana is a threat to run at any time, and he takes his lead right in the baseline, a direct line between second base and third base, which obviously is the shortest line to third base. If he were going to be content to stay at second and be driven in, he would back up about 5 or 6 or 7 steps to give himself a better angle to round third base. So you can tell the difference between just a regular base runner and a base stealer. He's going to take his lead in a position where if he does decide to run, he's got the shortest distance from where he's at to third base.
One and 2 on Pena.
You wouldn't expect Tony to run with nobody out in the inning. And he's definitely ready to advance to third base should Charlie Morton bounce another one of those sinkers in the dirt.
2-2.
Before this at bat started, we saw Michael McHenry, the Pirates catcher, step out in front and go through a series of signs alerting his infield where he would throw the ball should the Cubs attempt a double steal. And with Campana at second and Ramirez at first, you'd have to assume that the Pirates are going to throw to the trail runner at second base, try to get a Aramis Ramirez. Once again, neither guy figures to run with nobody out, but you still have to give those signs to your infielders just in case.
Think about sending him here. Nobody out.
Pena just swings and misses too much.
Not running, and a ground ball. 4, 6. Throw gets away, and Campana will score. They're tied.
Ronnie Cedeno will be hung with the error on this play, but really it was the poor toss by Neil Walker that ruined the rhythm of that double play. A long backhanded flip from the Pirates second baseman. Yeah, forced Cedeno to just kind of hang there and wait for the ball to get to him. Ultimately it's down low. Cedeno pulls his throw out of play past Derek Lee.
Error by Cedeno, allowing the tying run to score. Fielder's choice for Pena. He's at first. And a swing and a miss by Brian LaHare. Morton has a sign from McHenry. It's a bouncer foul.
Once again, Tony Campana's speed on the bases, creating havoc out there, getting the Cubs on the board.
This is his second year for LaHare in the Cubs organization. A pretty good year in 2010 with Iowa, 308 with 25 home runs. Has been almost exclusively from the stretch.
The 27th annual Cubs convention will take place at the Hilton Chicago on January 13th, 14th, and 15th, 2012. Rooms are available now by calling the Hilton Chicago at 312-922-4400 and asking for the Cubs convention rate. Weekend passes will go on sale in early November. As always, for more information, visit Cubs.com.
And out in the left center for Brian LaHare. Pena's going to make the turn. And they're at the corners. LaHare 1 for 2 in his Cubs debut.
Nicely done. We watched Brian LaHare take batting practice before the ball game today, and we weren't sure if it was just part of his pregame routine or whether it's his regular swing, but a lot of inside out, lead with the hands, swings like that one he had right there to produce that base hit into left center field. Breaking ball toward the outside corner, just went out and got it. Congratulations on number one, hopefully the first of many. Good base running that time by Carlos Pena as well. He noticed Alex Presley was moving laterally hard.
5-4-3. This time they do turn it, and it keeps the game tied. There's a double up. Marlon Byrd, 1-1 after 3. Lottery, you could win one of 5 top prizes of $250,000 or one of over 52,000 additional prizes ranging from $50 to $1,000 instantly. Brian LaHare making his Cub debut with a base hit in the 3rd inning. The Cubs would get a run on a throwing error by Ronnie Cedeno, and it's 1-1 here in the 4th. That run was earned. Jones doubled to lead off the 2nd when the Pirates would load him up with nobody out, but they did not get a run. Campana deep right. The leap, the catch. Nicely done. On the warning track for the out. Aaron Jones has really squared up a couple of balls today.
Yeah, he got one up in the zone that time. A mistake from Randy Wells, and fortunate that Tony Campana able to track that one down. You may remember his first base hit, that double to center, just accelerated over the glove of Marlon Byrd off the vines in center. That one very nearly off the vines in right.
Cedeno.
You know, outfielders are talking.
Campana with a much easier play, 2 outs.
And we know there's a lot of baseballs buried in the ivy. I wonder if there's any outfielders stuck in there that we forgot about.
Guess we'll have to wait till October.
A bunch of National League outfielders falling onto the warning track.
Strike on the catcher, McHenry. How about a 1-2-3? That'd be nice. First one for Wells today.
We talked about the momentum swing when you're able to keep a team off the board after loading the bases with nobody out. It also is a huge boost to that pitcher. It gives Randy Wells an opportunity to maybe settle in, make better pitches, get the better splits between his off-speed pitches and his fastball.
He went 4-0 in August with a 3.32. He and Cliff Lee went 5-0, the only 2 NL starters to win at least 4 starts without a loss in August. Fly ball to left. Brian LaHare with the catch, and they do go 1-2-3. 1-1 tie in the 4th.
He didn't bother to get up out of his seat. Why not? Well, we don't like the wave here at Wrigley. Chicago Cubs baseball brought to you by Xfinity, only from Comcast.
Beautiful day here at the ballpark. Strike on Darwin Barney. A 1-1 tie. Barney, Hill, and Wells for the Cubs. Morton was born in Flemington, New Jersey, to high school in Connecticut. Very talented musician. Plays guitar. Pretty good singer. Go to YouTube, you can find a few of his performances. An awful year last year. 2-12 with a 7.57 as Jones will make the sliding catch in right. Time now for the Cubs' upcoming schedule, brought to you by Lincoln. It's not just luxury, it's smarter than that. Feel smarter at Lincoln.com. Labor Day action here on WGN. Tomorrow afternoon, Dontrell Willis versus Matt Garza. Reds and Cubs will also be on WGN Sports on the U on Wednesday evening, 7 o'clock. Coy Hill, one hopper gets past a diving Neil Walker and into center.
Now you would expect Randy Wells to attempt his second sacrifice bunt of the ball game. Coy Hill staying on that sinker that was actually off the plate away. Guides it right back up the middle of the field for his first hit of the game.
Lee will apply the tag. So 2 sack bunts for Randy Wells today.
One down the third base line and that one down the first base line. Both perfectly executed. Randy did not want to just run into the tag and make it easy for Derek Lee, so he backpedals a little bit. He says, "Come here." Just want to make sure that runner gets to second base.
Castro last time a little anxious on a 3-0 pitch. The runners are second and third and 2 outs, and a lazy fly ball to right to end the inning.
And you do that often enough, you won't get the green light on 3-0 pitches. I mean, you really have to keyhole that opposing pitcher. If you get the swing away on a 3-0 pitch, you should look for one pitch in one zone, and you've got to hit it hard. Almost looked like a 2-strike approach that he had on that 3-0 pitch, hitting a lazy fly ball into shallow right field. Just because you get the green light doesn't mean you have to swing at it. Even if the pitch is a strike, you're still in the driver's seat at 3-1.
All Hawks just playing catch.
Got a lefty and a righty going just in case you need to play matchups.
Yep. Matt Garza will pitch tomorrow against the Cincinnati Reds. And a lot better than his 7-10 record indicates. Charged by Harrison. Safe. And a run scores. Derek Lee thought he had the out there. He did not get it. according to Jim Wolf, and the Cubs take the lead. That would have been the third out.
It looked like Derek was a little hesitant to stick that left arm in there and apply the tag to Starlin Castro. We remember back in L.A. when Rafael Furcal broke his wrist on a similar play. It looked like Derek was way off the bag at first. Didn't look like he had his foot on it whatsoever. Clint Hurdle's having a little bit of a hissy fit here. Probably going to get tossed from this game eventually. When you're that vociferous that early in the argument, chances are it's only going to get worse. Wolf just waiting to hear the magic words. Take another look. Nice play by Josh Harrison throwing across the diamond. However, his throw pulls Derek to the home plate side of the bag at first. Foot was definitely off the bag. Couldn't really tell from that angle if a tag was applied or not, but if it was ever so slight. Fortunately, Starlin Castro, hit that bag awkwardly down there at first.
At any rate, the Cubs have the lead. And Castro gets a base hit and an RBI.
Give Coy Hill some credit. That's some heads-up base running there. Motoring around from second base, never hesitated. When Derek Lee did hesitate to argue with the umpire, Coy just snuck on down the third base line and scored.
One 1-0 on Tony Campana. Castro goes. Save. He got in. I'll tell you, he overslid the bag. If Ronnie Cedeno had kept the tag on him instead of arguing with DJ Rayburn, he would have had him out. It's like Castro got up slowly. Really rammed into that bag. I think he overslid it.
Yeah, very late slide that time by Castro. Off balance, falling forward, tries to get to a feet first slide. Somehow able to stay on the bag there.
He did.
And no tag by Cedeno until well after Starlin Castro had reached the bag at second.
Knocked down by Morton, and he'll quickly fire to Lee to end the inning. Nice hustle play by Coy Hill, and the Cubs take the lead 2-1. Andy Wells has his first lead today as he looks for his 5th win in a row. One on Charlie Morton. Now 2-2. We had our first cycle of the season. I gave you a choice of any player in baseball. I'm not sure what George Katara's backup catcher for the Brewers would have been on your list, but he did it last night in Houston. First player this year, first since Carlos Gonzalez did it against the Cubs last year.
Good for George. I love it when those backup catchers do something that we can talk about on the air.
An 8-2 Milwaukee win last night in Houston. Castro's going to have time. And he gets the out.
Hey, Chicagoland viewers, how'd you like to win 5 $5 footlongs from Subway? Just be the 500th texter to text Subway to 97999. Go to WGNTV.com for complete information and rules. Yeah, I think Gutierrez was 0 for 1 after his first at bat in the ball game, but finished with a flurry, including a ground rule double to complete the cycle.
Washington Nationals left-hander Tom Malone hit a home run last night in the first pitch he ever saw. 3-run shot off Dylan G of the Mets. 8th pitcher ever to homer on his first pitch, and the first since Adam Wainwright in 2006. Base hit, Alex Presley. It's 2 for 3.
Feeling Alex Presley got 2 hits in his sleep last night. This guy has just been a hitting machine for the Pirates over his last 4 games. Another line drive, this time into left field for a 1-out base hit.
For veteran players, sometimes you call this a salary drive. I think for Alex Presley, it's a roster drive for next year.
Good point.
It's like Josh Harrison are in that same situation. Pirates are out of contention. They look ahead to 2012.
And Michael McHenry probably falls into that same boat as a guy that's trying to open up enough eyes with that Pittsburgh organization to earn a spot on the roster coming out of spring training next year.
I guess a salary drive, if you had to put him in this category, would be Derek Lee, who would become a free agent. Signed with the Orioles. Mid-season acquisition by the Pirates. I'll tell you what, you could do a lot worse. I know that they're getting younger, trying to get younger, but to have a veteran guy like him at first base. Deep to center, Marlon Byrd shading his eyes. He finds the ball on the warning track and makes the catch.
Well, we've seen Marlon do such a great job here at Wrigley Field to play the ball out of the sun, but unfortunately he didn't have the opportunity to do it on this drive. Just had to battle, held that glove up there, shielding his eyes from the sun, backpedals all the way to the warning track to make that catch. A lot of times on a high fly ball where he has time, Marlon will get around the baseball, change the angle, get the ball out of the sun to make it a much easier play, but couldn't do it on that one.
Cubs pitch out. Back on Derek Lee. I think these final 3 weeks or so are kind of a tryout period for both Derek Lee and the Pirates. Do they want him back, and does he want to be in a situation where there's still an up-and-coming team? Or does he want to end up with a contender that's ready to win right now as he gets late in his career?
The thing about Derek Lee, I think he's still a productive enough player and certainly a tremendous influence in the clubhouse that he can make that call himself. Sometimes you're a veteran player, as you call it, a salary drive at the end of a lost season, just hoping to get a job for the next season. But I think Derek is going to have some suitors, including the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Well, the other thing we should mention, Carlos Pena, due to be a free agent as well, he has already said he wants to stay here if possible. The Cubs, I would guess, would have a strong interest in keeping him, but we talk about free agent first basemen out there like Fielder and Pujols. Well, Pena and Lee are on that list too. Probably not the best year for them to be free agents with those other guys out there, but a couple of really good alternatives, much more affordable alternatives. And that's the other thing, Bob, about the new general manager. I have fans all the time ask me about certain players for next year. My answer is I have no idea. The new GM may come in and he may be the biggest Carlos Pena fan. He may be the biggest Derek Lee fan in the world. You don't know. Presley goes on the 3-1, and it says ball 4 on the board, and it is. McCutchen didn't realize it. So that's a walk to McCutchen, not a stolen base for Presley. Luis Silverio. Well, they still had another pitch or two here.
It's a man that wanted to hit right there. Yeah. Didn't want to take his base on ball 4.
Just to further the point, Bob, I think a lot of these Cubs players, in terms of anybody auditioning for next year, in a lot of ways they're auditioning for a person who is not currently in the organization. Get away. Coy Hill can't see it. Randy Wells did, fortunately. A wild pitch.
Yeah, you're right. Depending on who the new general manager is, he may have favorites of his own that he brings with him from the organization that he's with now. You just never really know what's going to transpire until you get all the appropriate people in place. What direction you're going to take with the team, where you want to spend your money, where you want to try your prospects. A lot of question marks entering this offseason.
And I guess the point is that someone coming in with a fresh pair of eyes, looking at this situation, at whatever open position you're trying to fill, I don't think it matters to that person necessarily whether or not that guy was wearing a Cub uniform this season. Bird will catch it. Derek Lee has made good contact throughout this series since coming off the DL. But that time for an out, it's 2-1 Cubs. Former Pirate Oramis Ramirez swings at the first pitch, breaks his bat, and ends up with a base hit.
The 2011 Chicago Cubs on WGN are brought to you by Bud Light Lime. Just the right taste of Bud Light with a refreshing splash of 100% natural lime flavor.
One on, nobody out. I want to send out a happy 9th birthday to Blake Walker of Kickapoo, Illinois. So a shout out to Daniel Perdon watching today up in Winnipeg, Manitoba. I'm sure he's excited about the Jets returning to Winnipeg. I want to wish a speedy recovery to big Cub fan Ray Pilger. Hope you're feeling better, Ray. Also got a nice note from Kirk Beveridge, Hannah, Illinois.
Big Cubs hello to my new friend Carlos down at Ditka's restaurant. Big time Cubs fan. To engage in a lot of Cubs talks last night after dinner.
Congratulate Mark Johnson and the Boise Hawks in the Northwest League. They clinched a playoff spot with a win over Vancouver yesterday. Johnson in his first year as a big league or a minor league manager, and they'll take on the Tri-City Dust Devils in the East Divisional Series. So they're in the postseason for the first time in 5 years. Third Cub affiliate to make the playoffs as Pena draws the walk. Tennessee won the first half, and so did Daytona. So they'll be in postseason action. When does Daytona start?
I believe they start Tuesday in Dunedin, and then it's the best of 3 the first round. They go back to Daytona for game 2, and if necessary, game 3.
Ray Searage coming out. We're going to see some action in the Pirate bullpen.
Hey fans, the Bud Light Bleacher Series provides fans with exciting special promotions in the Bud Light Bleachers, including free t-shirt Mondays, $3 12-ounce draft Bud and Bud Light Tuesdays, and $1 Vienna Beef hot dog Wednesdays. Tuesday's special is also available in select locations in the Seating Bowl. Bleacher tickets for the Red Series are only $20. For more information, visit Cubs.com.
Tander Tony Watson will be joined by Jason Grilli. Up the middle, it glances off the pitcher right to Cedeno. He bobbles, everybody's safe. That could have been a double play. Instead, they're loaded up with nobody out. It's an infield hit for Brian LaHare. And Carlos Pena safe at second, safe and secure, New York Life.
It looked like a tailor-made double play ball after it ricocheted off the pitcher, Charlie Morton. That was leading Cedeno right to the bag at second. It looked like he got his bare hand in the glove a little too soon. Shaking his hand, looking at his finger, may have taken that one right off the tip.
Bird up in the air. This will get Ramirez in as McCutchen trying to get behind the ball. His throw is going to head toward third. And it's a sac fly for Bird. 3-1. strike on Darwin Barney. Feathered friend stopped by for a quick bite. Call it home plate, but that bird called it his or her plate. Dinner plate.
Not a good place to be. You know, a lot of fans will remember a video from spring training in Tucson, Arizona. Randy Johnson delivered a 98-mile-an-hour fastball that hit a dove in mid-flight between the pitcher's mound and home plate. Well, needless to say, the dove lost.
There was no dove lost between the bird and Randy Johnson.
No.
Oh, that got him. Barney hit by a pitch. We'll load him up again. Let's step aside and see what's coming up on WGN. That's it for the starter Morton.
We're fortunate to catch Morton on a bad day today. It ends with a hit by pitch of Darwin Barney, and Pirates are going to go into their bullpen.
Left-hander Tony Watson is on.
Indiana Chevy dealers for their support of local youth baseball leagues. Through the Chevy Youth Baseball program, the local Chevrolet dealers are supporting over 35,000 young ball players in their communities. From the big leagues to the youth leagues, Chevy is truly the official vehicle of baseball.
You going to get a nose ring?
Thinking about it.
Yeah.
Just a couple of them.
Tony Watson facing Coy Hill, who will bat right-handed. Bases loaded, a run in, and only one out. Cubs lead 3-1. Well, Coy Hill could accomplish a couple of things here with a home run. It would be the Cubs' first grand slam of the season. It would be the first home run of his career right-handed. He has 8, all lefty. Watson will tag Hill, and he'll get an RBI out of it. As Pena scores, it's 4-1.
It wasn't pretty, but it'll work. A little jam shot grounder to the right side of the infield. By the time Tony Watson gets to the ball, he only has one play, and that's to tag Coy Hill. But in the meantime, Cubs push across another run.
Cubs with only one RBI hit, but that was a play at first. when Starlin Castro was called safe. Derek Lee apparently missed the tag, and Coy Hill came around and scored. Ground ball to Watson. That'll go 1-3. Cubs add 2 to their lead. We go to the 6th. Cubs 4, Pirates 1.
Guests are ready to play. The Wrigley Field experience allows for your group to host an event right here at Wrigley Field on non-game days. Event packages include batting practice, softball games, and much more. For more details, including 2012 dates and pricing, please call 773-404-4161 or visit Cubs.com/premier.
Cubs with a 3-run lead, 4-1 after the Pirates got the first tally in the opening inning. Called strike on Neil Walker, who is 0 for 2. He's made 3 outs.
Bottom of the kneecaps. We'll take that.
A sinker bowler always wants to get that call. Has settled in nicely after working out of that big jam in the second. Change-up strike.
You bring up a good point, Len. Different pitchers prefer different strike zones. Matt Garza is a guy that throws a lot of high four-seam fastballs. He would much rather get that top of the strike zone call as opposed to a guy like Randy Wells or Casey Coleman, who rely heavily on the sinker. They would rather get the borderline calls at the bottom of the zone.
He was good yesterday. Kind of lost in the shuffle. A crazy 9th inning. Second consecutive quality start. It was a no decision. This is Darwin Barney, and that's the first out. Garrett Jones with a double in the second inning, and then he lined to the warning track and right in the 4th inning. starting to kick up a little bit. Still out of the northwest, left to right. Well, the thing is, it's 2-0 on Jones. Now, in a vacuum, you might just say, well, Randy Wells has missed his spots, first 2 pitches. I don't think that's necessarily the case. I think it was 2-0 in large part because of the first 2 at bats.
I mean, you go into a ball game with an idea of who the hot hitters are on the other ball club based on what you've seen, based on the numbers recently, but nothing's more important than the first 2 at bats of the ball game. And Randy Wells has seen Garrett Jones take some pretty good swings and hit the ball really hard his first 2 times up to the plate. So maybe a little extra careful on those first couple of deliveries.
He's seeing the ball well. He just took 2 pitcher strikes to get it to 2-2. And he takes that close one outside, 3-2. Cedeno next.
Cedeno once again trying to cheat up there as close to an angle behind home plate as he possibly can, maybe to better see Randy Wells' deliveries before he takes his at bat.
Foul tip, strike 3.
With the slider on the 3-2 count to the backside of the plate. There, Jones geared for fastball, just didn't get to that pitch. Chance for another quick inning here for Randy Wells, get his team back up to the plate.
Feathered out into right center. 2-out single for Cedeno. He's 2 for 3.
Double-barreled action in that Cubs bullpen right now. Jeff Samardzija joined by James Russell as we head down to the bottom of the Pirates batting order. Number 8 hitter Michael McHenry at the plate, and we'll see a pinch hitter in that pitcher spot should we get down that far.
I'll tell you, Samardzija and Russell are connected at the hip. Where one goes, the other goes in the Cubs clubhouse. They head together out to the bullpen before the game. Their hair is about the same length at the moment.
And many times they pitch 1-2 or 2-1 depending on the opposing hitters in the lineup, whether it's a righty or a lefty. They've done a really nice job leading up to Sean Marshall, Kerry Wood, and Carlos Marmol this year.
Michael McHenry makes a slider for a strike. We'll push this one even more foul. There's been a scoring change on the Brian LaHare infield hit in the bottom of the 5th. Tony Cedeno's been charged with an error, the second of the day instead. And LaHare is 1 for 3, not 2 for 3. 1-2. Enjoying the ball game from across the street.
Probably wishes that gentleman would sit down.
Yeah.
That's standing up there in the back row.
I'm sure he's got us on in the background just in case. See, that's why he's kind of looking at an angle.
Yeah, he's watching the TV up in the corner there.
The end of the bat, and Campana will have an easy play in right. 2 out single, no runs. Cubs leading 4-1. Pirates in the first inning got the lead but have not scored since. Brian LaHare 1 for 3 in his Cubs debut. Visit your local Honda dealer today to test drive the 2011 Honda Cross Tour, available with 4-wheel drive. Beautiful shot of the ballpark from atop the iconic scoreboard. Joe Pausback is high atop Wrigley Field. Castro 2 for 3 with an RBI and a stolen base.
Couple of near broken ankles, one at first base, one at second base, and almost did a face plant at third, sliding head first. He's had some adventures on the bases today. Watson is one of those lefties that's actually more effective against right-handed hitters, which usually tells you he's got a pretty good straight changeup. Heat goes on for Starlin Castro. Stretched his hits lead in the National League over Michael Bourne.
Tony Watson, born in Sioux City, Iowa. Went to the University of Nebraska.
You see the splits for Tony Watson. Righties have hit for more power against him, but lefties hitting for a much higher average.
The speedster on deck, Campana. And a swing and a miss. He got him. A strikeout of Castro, and here comes Campana.
This is only the 21st at bat of the season for Tony Campana against a left-handed pitcher. He's faced a righty 93 times. Sometimes when a left-handed hitter doesn't see a lot of left-handed pitching, especially a guy who has the bunt as an arsenal in his offense. You'll see him try to bunt for a base hit, but Tony quickly falls behind 0-2, taking the bunt out of play here.
Got him. Called strike 3.
You can see McHenry wanted it up. Watson throws it right down the chute for a called strike 3. Tony just couldn't get the bat off his shoulder that time against the lefty.
Final today, the Yankees improved to 37-9 in day games. CC Sabathia got his 19th win, 9-3 over the Blue Jays. Jose Bautista hit his 40th. In a losing cause, Derek Jeter with his 5th, A-Rod his 15th, Nick Swisher with his 22nd for the Yanks. So Bautista the first of 40. And 3-1 to Ramirez. Yankees now 1 up on Boston with their game still in the balance, although they're trailing 9-2 at home against Texas in the 8th. 2-out walk. And now Carlos Pena, including today, he's reached twice, has been on base 16 times over his last 5 games. A lot of walks here lately, and that stretch includes 2 home runs. With a win, the Rangers will get their 80th of the year, with 3.5 up on the Angels in the West. Angels leading at home 2-1 over the Twins in the 5th. Ramirez takes off, and he gets in without a throw. A little sneak attack.
We were just talking about that the other day. Aramis Ramirez going all the way back to spring training in Mesa. Some fans, remember, he said he was going to try to run a little bit more this year, steal a few bases. This is really only his second legitimate or first legitimate attempt to steal second base. His other attempt, he was picked off first by Ted Lilly.
th of his career. Pena walks again. Third time today. First steal for Ramirez in 2 years.
Caught everybody by surprise. Watson certainly was not expecting it on the mound, and Michael McHenry didn't even come out of his crouch. He caught the pitch and framed it, tried to get the call from the home plate umpire as Ramirez is running to second base.
And LaHare punches that one out into left base hit. And an RBI. A blue base hit for Brian LaHare. His second of the day. Gets his first RBI. 5-1.
Got jammed a little bit with a 90-mile-an-hour fastball up in the zone, but perfect placement just over the head of Josh Harrison at third, out of the reach of Ronnie Cedeno at short, and Aramis Ramirez tacks on another run.
Cubs have now scored in each of the last 4 innings. They're missing some opportunities in the first 2. Randy Wells seemingly poised to get his 5th straight win.
Just watching the way this inning has unfolded, it almost looks like an effort at inning management by Tony Watson that got out of hand. He got the quick first out, striking out Castro, and he punched out the left-handed hitting Tony Campana. Pitched very carefully and pitched around Aramis Ramirez to walk him. I'm sure thinking he's got back-to-back lefties coming up. I'll be able to get out of this inning safely. But then Carlos Pena drew the walk. Brian LaHare with the floater, and the Cubs are on the board.
That'll be foul. Barely foul. Would have knocked in a couple more.
Just got a little too far out in front and around that pitch. A lot of hook as that ball went down the third base line, and about 6 inches to the wrong side of the foul line that time.
That was close to a must-win as it gets for the Giants today. It's a rubber match against the Diamondbacks, who evened up the series last night. Ian Kennedy got his 18th win, 7-2. Daniel Hudson and Ryan Vogelsong today. It's 1-0 Giants in the bottom of the second. Right now a 6-game spread in the NL West. It'll pop up, and it's Neil Walker to end the inning. LaHare with his first RBI since coming up from Iowa makes it 5-1 Cubs.
stormy weather, we're together. And when I'm by myself, that's when I think of no one else. But don't you keep to your own, baby, why don't you keep to your own? And when I stay out late, I sing to myself, you're not so great. Why don't you keep to your own, baby?
It's the Sheepdogs with How Late, How Long. Our Bud fan cam. Great times are waiting. Grab some buds.
Pedro Siriaco was announced. And Mike Quaddy going to make a double switch. Nice hand for Randy Wells. To qualify for his 5th straight win. We'll be back. Hit 9th. That moves Tony Campana to left. Brian LaHare is out. And in his spot in the order goes lefty James Russell. Pedro Siriaco has been called up for the 6th time this season. He got the call up before the game.
Slight delay there as Marlon Byrd was looking into the Cubs dugout. Did some positioning tips on Siriaco.
Called up on April 22nd, May 21st, July 2nd, July 29th, August 23rd, and now September 4th. What the major league record is for call-ups. 6 is a lot. That's 1 a month during the baseball season.
Siriaco, who will turn 26 later this month, has been a 3-time All-Star in the minor leagues, including the Midwest League, the California League, and the Southern League, but goes down on strikes against James Russell here leading off.
Samardzija is up in the Cubs pen. By the way, they have asked us to conduct the 7th inning stretch today.
Normally we give the Wrigleyville residents a little more warning so they can hide their pets, plug their ears.
Inside corner. Two and one. So we need to next figure out who canceled today.
Yeah, but we're always available to pinch hit. We don't usually get the starting nod very often, but they know we're on the bench ready.
Barney backpedaling, now under it. Wow. Quasi, I hope you're belted in up there.
Feeling a little queasy, partner. I don't know if I can sing after all.
Give me that. You know, speaking of the stretch, we had John Lovitz here yesterday. Nora Dunn and who was her partner? They did the whole bit where they would go one song into the next. They always ended up with clang, clang, clang with the trolley. We should try that one of these days. At the old ball game, clang, clang, clang
with the trolley.
Jan Hooks.
Yeah, there you go.
Nora Dunn and Jan Hooks.
Well, we would clear this ballpark out in a hurry if we did that.
We're looking forward to it as always. Pop up. It's Carlos Pena. Here we go, partner.
All right.
Today's guest conductors for Take Me Out to the Ball Game, Cubs TV broadcasters Len Casper and Bob Brenly.
All right. You know what to do. Sing it loud. Make Harry proud.
A 1, a 2, a 3.
Take me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd. I don't care if I never get back, so it's root for them. If they don't win, it's a shame for it. You're out at the old ball game. All right,
Let's get some runs. Always fun to sing the stretch.
Oh, it sure
Nice
is,
job.
partner, especially with a big crowd like today. The Cubs are winning a ball game. Couldn't be better.
It wasn't planned, but we were kind of in unison in the 1, 2, 3. It was good. The left field, center, right.
Yeah.
It's Daniel McCutcheon. Struggled yesterday. 2 hits, 2 runs allowed. Didn't get an out as Darwin Barney grounds and a high throw. Derek Lee 6'5", and on the bag to take that throw for the out.
Josh Harrison has shown some quick hands down there at third base in this series. He made some really nice plays on hot smashes. Very nearly threw this one away, though. Derek Lee's basketball background came into play right there as he's able to stretch out, keep the foot on the bag, and hit Darwin Barney.
Two bouncer, Lee unassisted. This could be a short interview.
So what are you doing in town, Len?
Well, let's see. Got a baseball game tomorrow here on WGN. Might be headed out to Schaumburg tonight. See a little stand-up. You know, it's neat, and we get to experience this every day, especially when you're standing there with the microphones. Everybody in the ballpark is looking at us, waiting to start the song.
Yeah, when we have guests in here on a daily basis, I try to slide back as far as I can in the booth to give them center stage so they can do their thing and sing the song. But yeah, when you're standing up there and everybody's waiting for you to begin the song, that's a little terrifying.
And we know the song like the back of our hand, but not every guest does. And even if they do, sometimes the nerves get in the way. Never gets old. Job by James Russell, a 1-2-3 top of this inning. Reed Johnson with an opposite field base hit in his first at bat this afternoon.
Push Reed's batting average up over 330 for the season. We started to talk about it yesterday with Reed, but then he quickly put the ball in play. Given his role with this ball club and the sporadic playing time, he's had some injuries that he's had to play through throughout the course of this season, but this might be one of his better offensive years. He has really been consistent from the beginning of the season up until that most recent base hit.
Sure what Reed was talking about with Derek Lee, but former teammates, had a lot of good times together here with the Cubs. Reed Johnson back for his second go around, but two veterans who've been around for a while. Almost looked like Reed was saying fastball. I wonder if Derek asked him what was the pitch. You know, veterans like that, they don't give away too many secrets, but just a casual conversation at first.
Some first basemen are a little more talkative than others. Think back to the mayor of Cincinnati, Sean Casey. Well, he used to talk guys' ears off down there at first base. John Kruk was that way when he played for the Phillies and the Padres. But as you mentioned, because of their past relationship as teammates, that's probably a little more in-depth conversation than you usually get at first base.
Like when Brian LaHare got on earlier, that Derek kind of tapped him on the backside and said, hey, nice going, congrats. I'm sure Derek aware of the year he had at Iowa. Was his teammate in spring training last year.
As close as you may be as a base runner and an opposing first baseman, the one thing that conversation will lack is eye contact. Reed's got to keep his eye on the ball, make sure he knows what the pitcher's doing. As the pitch is delivered, you got to pick it up through the hitting zone, see if it's put into play. Does the catcher have the ball? You go back to the bag. You have to immediately pick up your third base coach. So they may be talking to each other, but they're probably not looking at each other. Might have to put in some defensive replacement fans for that particular section. They've dropped a couple of them over there today. Bring some fans in from the bleachers and put them in the front row right there. Late inning defensive replacement. Partner, we're running out of time to get a foul ball up here this year.
You know it.
Anxiously waiting. We haven't even had too many close calls.
We've had one in the booth in 7 years. And you caught it. Johnson goes on the 1-2, and that'll land foul. Ron Kulpa had to hit the deck. Make that call from his hands and knees.
Guys going every which way down that third baseline. Josh Harrison moved over toward the line to try to make a play. Ron Kulpa dove toward the field to get out of the way. And then the Cubs bullpen is scattering down there, just in case that was a fair ball.
Andy Lane and Edgar Tovar in the background. Fly to left, pretty well hit. Presley on the warning track is going to have just enough space to make the catch. Will get us into the 8th. Cubs 5, Pirates 1. Chicago time, the 46th annual MDA Labor Day Telethon. So that is within the hour here on WGN. Right-hander Jeff Samardzija is on for the Cubs here in the 8th, leading 5-1. Not an easy part of the order here. It's a good challenge for Samardzija, McCutchen, Lee, and Walker. We'll be back with you tomorrow on Labor Day at 1 o'clock as the Reds come in to start a 3-game series. Day, night, night, as opposed to night, night, day. Montrell Willis has actually been pretty good. He has, I think, 8 quality starts out of 10, but without a win. McCutchen strikes out. Let's step aside and see what's coming up on WGN. Low to Derek Lee.
For Jeff Samardzija, this is appearance number 66 on the season. I really think he has his best fastball of the year at this point of the season. He's consistently reaching the upper 90s with nice easy arm action. Occasionally he tries to overthrow that fastball, but pounds that one in on the hands of Derek Lee at 96.
Bobble and a drop by Barney. And it's a base hit for Lee. That's his 3rd today.
The wind that continues to blow from left toward right just pushed that one away from Darwin Barney, although he got a glove on it. We talk about it all the time. That little itty bitty second baseman's glove just doesn't have much of a pocket. He tried to cradle it in against his chest with both hands, but unfortunately popped right out of the glove. That's easy gas at 97. Hot gun or not, ball is really jumping out of his hand.
Walker couldn't hold up. 0-2. Takes off, and he's in on a wild pitch.
Like one of the pitches that Samardzija tried to overthrow right there, just spiked that fastball off of the plate. Kind of skipped on Coy Hill, only able to knock it down. It got behind him far enough to allow Derek Lee to advance into scoring position with 1 out here in the inning. Time to make a minor adjustment here. Bouncing a lot of pitches up there on home plate or right in front of home plate. Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
Little buffer zone.
Rearrange the seating assignments. Three and two. Jones on deck. Texas beat Boston 11-4 at Fenway. Matt Harrison over John Lackey. Tampa Bay 8, Baltimore 1 a final. Jeremy Hellickson went the distance for his 12th win. And a deep drive, Marlon Byrd tracking, and it's gone. A home run. Neil Walker halves the lead. It's now 5-3.
Talk about Jeff Samardzij's easy gas. This is an easy swing from Neil Walker, but produces big time power to straightaway center field. Our BMW ultimate drive of the game. Neil Walker with his 12th home run of the season to straightaway center field. Brought to you by your Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana BMW dealers. BMW, the ultimate driving machine.
Fifth career homer for Walker against the Cubs in under 100 at bats. One and two. Phillies and Marlins 4-4 in the 12th in Miami. Roy Halladay 6 innings today, 3 runs, 2 earned. He allowed 9 hits. Swing and a miss. 2 outs here in the 8th. Braves got a run in the bottom of the 9th to beat the Dodgers 4-3 on a Martin Prado game-ending RBI single. 99. They're on pitch tracks. Milwaukee won again 4-0. A shutout at Houston. Sean Markham's now 12-5. Ryan Braun and Jonathan Lucroy hit home runs for the Brewers. So after they got swept by the Cardinals at home, they went to Houston and swept the Astros. Reds and Cards 2-2 in the bottom of the 9th in St. Louis. A good start for Edwin Jackson. Bronson Arroyo pitched in that game for the Reds, meaning he won't face the Cubs this week. Can you believe that? When was the last time the Reds and Cubs have matched up in a 3-game series and Bronson Arroyo hasn't pitched?
That will be strange.
Hopefully we'll still get a text from Glendon Rush in that series. 1-2. He struck him out. Well, the good, 3 strikeouts. The bad, a 2-run homer by Walker. It's now 5-3 in the middle of the 8th.
Phone, iPad, Android, or BlackBerry. Get live audio, pitch-by-pitch tracking, video highlights, and more. Text at BAT to 31826 or visit Cubs.com for details.
Daniel McCutchen warmed up for the 8th, but it will not be McCutchen to face Tony Campana. Jose Veras, a right-hander, is coming in. We'll be back. A career high for him.
So Veras in the first game of this series pitched a 1-2-3/8 inning, struck out Starlin Castro, Reed Johnson, and got Aramis Ramirez to pop up to first base.
Waiting for the fans to file out after the game. We're in the bottom of the 8th. Cubs leading 5-3, and it looks like Sean Marshall will get the save chance in the 9th. Long, tough day for Carlos Marmol yesterday. Mike Quaddy's not making a closer change, but it looks like today he's going to let Marshall get the opportunity. Curveball missed outside, 1-1.
Veras likes that curveball. Has a good fastball in the mid-90s, but relies heavily upon that breaking pitch. Also throws a straight changeup.
Woo! 1-2 on the curve. Bucco fans in enemy territory in the bleachers. Looks like everybody's well behaved out there. Tried the back door, couldn't get it. 2-2.
Love to see Tony Campana get on base one more time. Every time he gets on, something happens. Most of the time it's good. Occasionally it's bad, but it's never boring when Tony gets on base. Really changes the complexion of the ball game.
Messing around for Ronnie Cedeno. He's faced Campana enough to know you got to get rid of it quickly. 1 away.
Yeah, I don't think Tony's going to be able to catch anybody unawares at this point. There's been enough advanced scouting. They've seen enough of Tony Campana to alert their infielders. You have no time to waste. Get the ball, get rid of it quickly, and make sure it's on line, or he will leg it out. Good rip that time at a high fastball. Might be the only one he sees in this sequence, at least the only one in the strike zone. Right at the top of the zone, right at the catcher's mask of Michael McHenry, and Ramirez fouled it straight back.
They've gone to the 13th in Florida. Charlie Manuel, Jack McKeon are happy they have some reinforcements here in September for their bullpens. That, by the way, I think is the best argument for keeping the September expanded rosters where they are. Is your pitchers get tired during the season. You like to have some backup as Ramirez strikes out. You were right, he didn't get another fastball. 2 down, it'll bring up Pena. They're in the 10th in St. Louis. Reds and Cards tied at 2-2. Mets beat Washington 6-3 in D.C. Ryota Igarashi got the win over Livan Hernandez. I think that's Livan's last start. I think they're going to shut him down to give some of the younger starters some innings,
including Steven Strasburg, who's scheduled to start Tuesday, I believe.
Stats reporting, this is pretty good. The Rangers beat the Red Sox 6-4 in the season series. None of the 10 games were decided by fewer than 4 runs. They were all blowouts. That's something else. I think out of 10 games, those two very good teams would play a couple of close ones.
Now with the bunt taken out of the equation, Josh Harrison, the third baseman, sprints across the diamond about to a normal second base position as Ronnie Cedeno remains the lone infielder on that left side.
Three and two. Pena's tied his career high with 3 walks. Just outside, and he's walked 4 times today. He's well on his way to 100 walks, 87 on the year.
Good take that time. Breaking ball that never did get back to the outside corner. Had a real good look at it, even though he's standing in the shadows there at home plate. Pitcher is standing fully in the sunshine. The shadow cuts across about halfway between the mound and home plate.
His career high in walks, 103 with Tampa Bay in 2007. 87 in 09, 2010, and already here in 11 with a few weeks to play. Blake DeWitt off the bench, batting for Samardzija. Atop the Cubs dugout. He's playing the closer for today. But again, Marmol's not losing his full-time job, just getting the day off this afternoon.
Number one dad, number one mom. It says so right on the back of their jerseys.
One and two on the pinch hitter DeWitt. Veras with a pitch in the dirt.
Really make a concerted effort just to keep the ball away from Blake DeWitt in this situation. The wind continues to blow from left toward right. Figure to help a fly ball hit to right center, right field, or down the line in right. So Veras just trying to stay away from the left-handed hitting Blake DeWitt.
Kick in the 2-2. Another foul.
That one in the middle of the plate that time. More of a defensive swing with 2 strikes, but it was a very hittable fastball that time.
Fans down the third base line walking home with a late afternoon souvenir courtesy Blake DeWitt. And that's why.
Everything away, 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 with the exception of the one fastball on the pitch before. Pitch number 5 that caught a lot of plate. Everything else away or down. That breaking ball one more time. He threw a breaking ball to Carlos Pena on a full count to walk him. See if he goes back to the breaker here to Blake DeWitt in a full count. Got a lot of confidence in that pitch. I mentioned he throws it nearly as often as he throws his fastball.
All 4. Remember kind of a similar inning in the 6th. Tony Watson struck out the first 2 in that inning, then walked Ramirez. Pena gave up the RBI hit to Brian LaHare. Casey Coleman running for Blake DeWitt. We mentioned kind of a bulky hamstring.
Marshall just waiting patiently down in that Cubs bullpen. He's loose, warm, and ready to go. I'm sure he's hoping his team tacks on another run or two here in the bottom half of the 8th inning.
Strike one on Marlon Byrd. A walk, a stolen base, a sac fly. 0 for 2 officially. Teams tied on the hit board with 9 apiece. One home run in the game that belongs to Neil Walker, who connected off Jeff Samardzija in the top of this 8th inning.
Well, and this is one of those days that makes Wrigley Field, right field, the toughest defensive position in the outfield. At that bright sunshine right now, the wind really whipping across from left to right. It's going to push everything over toward that foul line if it's hit directly at the right fielder, and then you're going to have to battle the sun. Not easy duty for Garrett Jones out there in right.
3-1. Darwin Barney would hit next.
So frustrating for a hitter when you're facing a guy that's scatter armed. He's spraying them all over the place. You get to a 3-1 count and he just absolutely paints the outside corner for a strike.
Runners will be going, so Veras wants to shorten that lead a little bit.
Nobody even close to Carlos Pena or the bag at second defensively. Be able to get a big walking lead.
There they go. And this will be a base hit to score Pena. Marlon Byrd with his second RBI today. It's 6-3.
Good breaking ball down and away from Marlon Byrd. You see no stride whatsoever. Just kind of threw his hands at the baseball, flipped it out there into left field for an RBI base hit.
Coleman advanced to third. Cubs really break it open. We could see John Grabo in the ninth. He just grabbed the ball. Barney swings and misses.
I hate most about it.
1-1. Cubs have spread it around today. Single runs in the 3rd, 4th, 6th, and 8th. They got 2 in the 5th. They've left at least 1 on in every inning, but they've had a lot of base runners.
Every starter with at least 1 hit, with the exception of Darwin Barney at the plate right now, and Carlos Pena, but Pena walked 4 times, so didn't really have much of an opportunity to swing the bat today.
He pops it up. The wind and the sun, not an easy spot at this time of day, but Walker makes a catch. 2 walks, a hit, and the Cubs add a run. 6-3 as we head off to the 9th. Our director is Skip Ellison, Doug Stanton, our associate producer, Paula Oscroba, our stage manager in the booth, executive producer of WGN Sports, Bob Vorwald, and as always, great work by our entire crew during holiday weekend hours. We'll be right back here tomorrow afternoon. Sean Marshall filling in today for Carlos Marmol, working with a 3-run lead, facing Jose Tabata, who will hit for the catcher McHenry.
Another pinch hitter has stepped into the on-deck circle. Catcher Ryan Domet, the switch hitter, will hit that 9 spot in the lineup after Tabata.
Curve for strike 1 and 2. Called strike 3. That was a beauty. Tabata arguing, but that looked like a great pitch.
Yeah, big sweeping breaking ball from Sean Marshall. Remember, it's not where Coy Hill catches it, it's where it crosses the front of the plate. And even at that, nips that inside corner right at the knees.
Another pinch hitter, Ryan Domet. Switch hitting catcher, batting right-handed. 1-1. For Marshall, this would be his first save since August 7th against Cincinnati. Check that. First opportunity since August 7th. He took the loss. It will be his first save since July 22nd versus Houston. Dolman with a pinch hit single. Presley looking for his third consecutive 3-hit game in this series. Already has 4 consecutive multi-hit affairs. He's 2 out of 4. Well, there was only one king, Elvis Presley, same spelling of the surname, but only one other major league player with that surname, Jim Presley, on the third baseman, and a pretty good hitting coach.
I guarantee you this is one of the tougher at bats that Presley's had over this recent hitting streak that he's had against a big, tall left-hander with a couple of different breaking balls and a good fastball in the low 90s. This is not a comfortable at bat under any circumstance for a left-handed hitter. You add in the shadows here at Wrigley Field late in the afternoon. If he gets one off of Sean Marshall, he's earned it.
Little hold up. There is an Elvis Andrus, an all-star. Elvis Pena played in the big leagues a while ago, and of course Lance Berkman, sometimes called Fat Elvis, but that doesn't count. And he struck him out. Foul tip, strike 3. 2 away.
Fastballs to start the sequence, and then the big sweeping breaking ball for strike 3.
Holiday Sunday crowd of 40,000 plus. And Sean Marshall's 1 out away as he faces Josh Harrison. A good idea to get him on deck as a guy with 20 home runs, Andrew McCutcheon.
Assuming the Cubs are able to hang on here with 2 outs and 2 strikes in the 9th inning with a 3-run lead, Cubs would go to 19-13 in games that Coy Hill starts behind the plate. Round of boos as Harrison stepped out of the batter's box. I think a lot of these people have other places to go as soon as this one ends. The beer's just going to get a little bit colder. That's all.
ball.
That's a ball.
Got to throw to an occupied base. Sean Marshall saw Domet take off, and he threw to Carlos Pena, who was 25 feet away from first base. I guess the only thing that does is takes away a stolen base from Domet. You know what? You'd rather balk than throw the wrong pitch. And you're up 3. Now a 1-2.
Have to leave him right there.
Yep. Ground ball to second. This will do it. Barney to Pena. Cubs win. The final today, the Cubs 6 and the Pirates 3.
Baseball season's underway. Well, you better get ready for a brand new day. Hey, Chicago, what do you say? The Cubs are gonna win today. They're singing, go Cubs, go! Go Cubs, go! Hey, Chicago, what do you say? The Cubs are gonna win today. Go Cubs, go! Go Cubs, go! Hey, Chicago, what do you say? The Cubs are gonna win today. They got the power, they got the speed to be the best in the National League. Well, this is the year and the Cubs are here. So come on down to Wrigley Field. We're singing now, go Cubs, go! Go Cubs, go! Hey, Chicago, what do you say? The Cubs are gonna win today. Go Cubs, go! Go Cubs, go! Hey, Chicago, what do you say? The Cubs are gonna win today. Baseball time is here again. You can catch it all on WGN. So stamp your feet and clap your hands.
So the W flag will fly for the rest of the day and into the evening here at Wrigley Field as the Cubs beat the Pirates 6-3 to final.
Hey, Chicago, what do you say? The Cubs are gonna win